Welcome to Coyote News.
Tonight, if you have a favorite professor, it's time to nominate them for U's highest award. And we'll tell you about a big event happening on campus that you won't want to miss.
Also, they've finally released the names of the new restaurants coming to the Muck. But first, today's headlines.
President Barack Obama continues to battle high unemployment and relations with Congress. That just as Americans consider whether or not to give him a second term. Last night, he delivered his annual State of the Union address. He proposed a 30% income tax rate on millionaires and billionaires. The president didn't mention the Keystone XL pipeline controversy, but he did note that American oil production is the highest that it's been in 8 years. The LA Dodgers are on the market for new owners, and bidders are lining up for a piece of the Hollywood team. Last time the team was on the selling block, current owner Frank McCourt bought the team in exchange for a Boston parking lot. On Monday, McCourt and his investment bankers received 20 bids to purchase the Dodgers. McCourt bought the team for $430 million, and he stands to make $1.5 billion, a record for a North American sports franchise. Interested buyers include Magic Johnson, Larry King, and former Dodgers manager Joe Torre. Last May, Navy SEALs Team 6 earned notoriety for killing Osama bin Laden. Last night, the unit parachuted into Somalia and rescued 2 aid workers. The American and Danish hostages were held for ransom by a local kidnapping gang. And those are your headlines.
Last year, students were enjoying his 3-hour class. Today, those same students are reflecting on the impact Governor William Janklow made in their lives.
South Dakotans are continuing to mourn the loss of a person who had a significant role in the state's history. Former Governor Bill Janklow died January 13th, just 2 months after announcing he had brain cancer. He was memorialized in 2 services last week. Some USD students had a unique opportunity to get to know the 4-term governor in a special political science course offered last spring. Alyssa Van Meederen and Chris Moritz were 2 of 25 students invited to enroll in the Governors in the Classroom course last spring.
He was a lecturer, but it was more like you were just having a conversation with someone. I mean, he was very interactive with the students, and he was very passionate about what he was teaching on.
We showed up and he would come in, and about 15 minutes before class was over, you look at the clock and say, where'd all the time go? I mean, you're just so enthralled in his stories and the things he's accomplished and everything that when class was over, you just wanted to last longer because you were so interested in it.
Moritz says he didn't know the governor before taking the course.
Well, I really didn't know a whole lot about Governor Janklow being from Iowa, but I read up on him and I really got interested in him and different things, so I was pretty excited to take the course.
Moritz is a political science and history double major and says he plans to go into politics after he graduates. He also says that he will never forget the impact Governor Janklow had on South Dakota and on him.
After learning his experiences and what he's done in office, it makes you want to go out into the world and accomplish something. It makes you want to do the things that he did and be able to affect a state as profoundly as he did.
For Coyote News, I'm Cassie Bartlett.
A preliminary design's been completed for the Muck's expansion. RSA Architects and WEBB Design are working on the plans. The blue and purple areas indicate the new addition. Students were asked to vote for their favorite restaurant and choose between Taco Bell, a Chick-fil-A, and Einstein Bagels to replace U-Brew. But you no longer have to choose since the new plans include all 3 new restaurant chains. To make room, most of the link to the library will be gone except for the tunnel. USD's Jeff Baylor says they're trying to emphasize a place that isn't a dining hall, but more like a living room for the campus. Baylor says they plan to break ground this semester. Their goal is to avoid disrupting the Muck's current services as much as possible. The university is going to allow alcohol in apartment-style dorms starting with the fall semester. Brianna Clark's live at the Muck with the Associate Dean of Students.
The South Dakota Board of Regents recently changed its alcohol policy, and the university is following suit. Joining me is Phil Covington. Mr. Covington, what is the new alcohol policy?
Beginning next fall 2012, students who are of legal age to consume who live in Coyote Village or in McFadden, if they sign up through a process that we're working on right now to have their unit designated as an alcohol allowed unit, they and all of their of age roommates will be allowed to consume alcohol inside the living unit.
Why has the policy changed now and not in previous years?
That policy, as you just noted, the Board of Regents opened up that opportunity within the past year in response to requests from our students that this is something that if I'm legally of age, I should be able to consume an adult beverage. We listened, we said why not, and thus we've got it in place now.
How is the university going to monitor this new policy?
Those will be pieces really that aren't a lot different than what we're doing now. There will be some restrictions. For example, in Coyote Village, students will be asked to only bring their alcohol in through the front door. Still the same pieces. Those rooms will be blocked together in the building, whether it's in McFadden or in Coyote Village. So the designated areas will be all in one space as opposed to all over the building. And other than that, it will just be based on complaints that we receive, things that need to be dealt with, using our housing staff, CAs, and hall directors to deal with those issues.
And as you just stated, Coyote Village is only allowing students to come in the front door with their alcohol. How are you monitoring the other doors?
Those are pieces that we'll have staff, throughout the building. Obviously, as things are seen, we'll deal with it. And now, does that mean we'll catch everything? No, just like we don't catch everything now.
All right. Once again, the university will allow alcohol in McFadden and Coyote Village for students 21 and over, beginning fall semester. Live from the Muck, I'm Brianna Clark.
Thanks, Brianna. Up next, how to nominate your favorite USD professor for a major cash prize. That's in a moment. It's that time of year again. USD students, faculty, and staff are invited to submit nominations for the annual Belbus-Larsen Award for Excellence in Teaching. Each year, one tenured and one tenured-track faculty member are recognized at the spring commencement. The award includes a $5,000 tribute. Last year's winners were Joseph Vitt from the Chemistry Department and Michael Algren from Economics at the Beacom School of Business. The awards are made possible in part by a gift from Dean Belbus, a former vice president of General Mills and former chairman of the board of USD's foundation. The Belbus-Larsen Award is considered the highest honor USD bestows upon its educators. Nomination forms can be picked up in room 102 of Slagle Hall. They need to be turned in by February 10th. The Beacom School of Business is being honored for having one of the nation's best online grad degree programs in business. U.S. News and World Report ranks USD among the top 100 business school institutions. Other schools recognized are University of San Diego and Washington State University.
The Campus Diversity Enhancement Group is seeking ways to diversify USD. The group hosted the first of 3 courageous conversations last week. They're designed to engage faculty and the public in making the university more diverse now and in the future. The forums address several key diversity issues. Community Chair Jerry Utranka says the discussions offer the opportunity for campus involvement.
People to voice an opinion. There's people all over this campus who are working at this in some way. It's an opportunity for them to come together and say, okay, this is what we've been doing. How can we move forward with this particular effort?
Audience members shared their stories from their own experiences.
I was very pleased and maybe surprised a little bit about how open people were talking about some of their perspectives, their insights, their frustrations, and the like.
Utranka says the group plans 2 more courageous conversations this semester.
On this week's Coyote blog, John Hines' take on the weather. He says the problem isn't Mother Nature.
Today, I have to reveal the most well-kept and earth-shattering secret ever uttered on Coyote News. During winter, it snows in South Dakota. Don't think that's a secret? Then explain to me why snow always seems to take the city of Vermilion by surprise. The morning after our most recent snowfall, I, like many Vermilion residents, had to drive somewhere. And by morning, I mean 11 o'clock in the morning. After it snows, is it too much to ask for the city to clear the streets before noon? Apparently so. Sure, I heard and saw the plows driving by, but not until after cars had driven down most of the streets and packed the snow so much that it couldn't be plowed. I can understand the city not clearing the street I live on in a timely manner. It's a low traffic, low priority street. But even Cherry Street was still covered in dangerous amounts of loose snow, especially in the intersections. Winter driving is already dangerous. There's no excuse for leaving Vermilion's busiest street covered in snow and putting motorists at unnecessary risk. So come on, Vermilion. I know that road maintenance can be expensive, but when people's lives and cars are at stake, I think it's worth the cost. For Coyote Blog, I'm John Hines.
Thanks, John. Up next, it's not until fall semester, but students are already gearing up for USD's largest holiday, D-Days. Stay with us.
The university's distant nursing program has just unveiled a new mobile simulation unit. The new device will allow those in the nursing program a way to practice critical situations before working with actual patients. It gives students a realistic and hands-on experience. The room will contain state-of-the-art equipment, including mannequins that have a heartbeat, talk, and cough. USD's own Lana Zvian, chair of the Physical Therapy Department, was just appointed to South Dakota's Physical Therapy Advisory Committee. Zvian taught at USD for 22 years and was recently honored with the USD Diversity Award. Dean of Health Sciences Michael Lawler says USD is fortunate to have Zvian's expertise.
USD's annual Homecoming Week is 9 months away. This year's Dakota Days advisor is Carly Hurd. She says the 2012 celebration is especially important.
Dakota Days because this year is the 150th anniversary for USD.
Students interested in being part of this year's D-Days committee should contact Hurd.
There's generally about 10 to 15 members, and as soon as we get them put together, which will probably be in the next month or so, they'll start meeting and planning.
Committee member Brad Omlin says plans for D-Days festivities are extensive.
It's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't realize, but there's just as much work to be done during the week as there is leading up to the week.
The committee begins planning campus and community D-Days events early and have already confirmed this year's parade marshals.
And his wife Meredith are going to be the parade marshals for 2012, so that'll be really exciting to have them come back.
Kickoff for the next fall's Dakota Days is October 1st.
Clay County's annual Relay for Life event is right around the corner, and USD's Colleges Against Cancer group is serving up ice cream for the cause. Colleges Against Cancer hosted Yote floats last week as a part of their kickoff event. Member Emily Davenport says the event informs people about the cause and encourages them to sign up. Relay for Life will take place February 14th at the Dakota Dome. Pre-registration starts at noon and pledges can be made to walk or run. You can also register on USD's website. The relay lasts all afternoon with prizes and activities throughout the day. Up next, new commentator Taylor Moore has advice for USD basketball teams.
Today on Coyote Sports, find out which Coyote athlete made an appearance in a special game.
And in addition to catching up on scores, Taylor Moore has some tips for the basketball team. But first, sports headlines. Lene?
Thanks, Mandy. Legendary Penn State football coach Joe Paterno was laid to rest today. He died Sunday after battling lung cancer. Paterno has the most wins in major college football and won 2 national championships. But his legacy was tarnished amid a sex scandal involving a former assistant coach. The scandal forced Paterno to resign before finishing his last football season. He was 85. It was an intense weekend in the NFL this year as 2 Super Bowl teams narrowly made it. Sunday, the Patriots earned the first bid, defeating the Baltimore Ravens 23-20. That after the Ravens kicker missed a 32-yard field goal with 11 seconds left. In the second game of the day, regulation wasn't enough time to declare a winner, but the Giants earned the overtime win against the 49ers. The teams face off for the title February 5th. It's been 7 years since the two met in a Grand Slam semifinal, but Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer are meeting again at the Australian Open. Tuesday, Federer earned his 1,000th career win. Nadal advanced after a tough 4-game match. Federer is a 4-time champion at the Australian Open. And those are your sports headlines.
Thanks, Lene. USD hosted Western Illinois on Saturday, but the Coyotes came away with mixed results over the weekend. The women's team started off strong and held the lead as the Coyotes ran away with a 78-57 victory. 5 USD players scored in double figures, including junior guard Tempest Wilson, who led the Yotes with 22 points. The men's team, however, came up short against the Leathernecks. USD fell behind early and finished the half trailing 21-32. The Coyotes fought and narrowed the lead margin by 2 points, but the rally fell short. The Yotes lost 45-47. Women's head coach Ryan Williams earned his 300th career victory with the win. The men's team plays at Oral Roberts tomorrow, while the Lady Yotes travel to Southern Utah on Saturday.
The swimming and diving teams earned their first loss in a month to in-state rival SDSU. Seniors Liz Hoffman and Janine James combined for 5 wins in the loss. Hoffman now has 25 victories this season and earned the 5th best Summit League time this season in the 200 freestyle. Senior Thad Studdard earned the only individual victory at the meet for the men, winning the 200 freestyle. Saturday, the teams traveled to North Dakota to take on UND. Junior Casey Shade broke a 30-year-old school record in the 600 meters as the track and field teams competed in the Jack Johnson Minnesota Classic. Although Shade set the new record over the weekend, he finished second in the race. Senior Kenna Walter won the triple jump for the women and helped them earn a 3rd finish. The men took 5th. Both teams traveled to Iowa Saturday to compete in the Bill Bergen Invite at Iowa State.
On this week's More Sports, sports commentator Taylor Moore has some advice for the Coyotes.
Basketball, a game marked by extraordinary feats of athleticism featuring speed, talent, and a vast array of dazzling dunks, crossovers, and shots. We've all seen a dunk or shot that left us in amazement or even has caused us to debate whether Kobe is the greatest of all time. More often than not, we have seen teams struggle under tremendous obstacles and persevere to become an even greater team in the process. I believe such is possible for the Coyote men's basketball team. The team has undergone a significant struggle within a couple of its past games, most notably a game against SDSU. The team in itself has a great deal of talent, featuring such individuals as Charlie Westbrook, Ricardo Andriotti, Louis Krogman, Alan St. Gillet, and Nimrod Hilliard. My question is why the talent of the team is usually left on the bench rather than scoring points on the court. If I had Charlie Westbrook on my roster, a player that was named first team all-conference in the Great West, not to mention his illustrious junior campaign, I would have him playing for the majority of the game rather than an entire first half and taking him out within the first minute of the second half. Also, there seems to be an issue with adjustments. If a car is not capable of driving, do you keep on trying to drive it? No. You get it repaired and fixed so that it begins to work properly. The same is true with the zone defense. If a team can't shoot threes on a consistent basis, I think I will let my athletes play a man-to-man defense and showcase their skills. The Coyotes have a chance to redeem themselves February 9th in the Dakota Dome against SDSU, and if the team collaborates together and uses their athletes properly, a win should be attainable. For more sports, I'm Taylor Moore.
Thanks, Taylor. And that's all for Coyote Sports. Coming up next, Angelica Brackens debuts a new song.
With the fluctuations in weather patterns over the past couple of weeks, commentator Angelica Brackens sings a song expressing her feelings about Mother Nature.
Picture perfect campus, no sign or a trace of snow. Middle of December, couldn't even catch a cold. Mother Nature, what the heck is going on, 'cause it feels like springtime. It's 1:15, the sun is shining bright, I don't need my coat. A couple minutes past, the sun is long gone and there's snowflakes now. And I don't know how I can deal with this, I just need to move. Why's the weather act like it has ADD? It's 1:15, frostbite setting in, I don't have my gloves. An hour's come and gone, the sun is coming out, I just found my gloves. And it goes from 5 to 45, I just need to move. I just need to move.
Thanks, Angelica. This week on Out and About, we asked students what they think about allowing 21-year-old students living in the dorms to have alcohol.
I would say that for me it doesn't really do anything just because I am in a sorority and so I don't live in the dorms when I'm 21. But I would say that, I mean, they are 21, they are legal, and as long as they aren't involving anybody who's under 21, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know how they're going to enforce it, but I plan on drinking.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. Like, you know, a lot of the people in the apartment style anyway are over 21. And if they want to drink in their own house, then they can do whatever they want. And if you allow it, I think people will be more controlled and, you know, not going crazy and stuff.
I don't think it's going to work very well because I know a bunch of people who are 21 but are friends with like 20-year-olds and they want to live with them. So it's not really fair to punish that 21-year-old for living with 20-year-olds, and they should still have the right to have alcohol in there, like where they're living.
I turned 21 today and I won't care because I'm not going to live in the dorms next year or semester.
Well, I think it's actually going to be really good for all the students because it's going to bring more students to live on campus because they're going to be able to actually drink in their room, but you have to be 21, so that will kind of be hard to enforce because some of the younger students are probably going to try to get away with it.
Well, while it doesn't affect me, I think it's a good step forward for the university. I think they're going to have more people moving into Coyote Village and hopefully reaching capacity soon.
I think it's a good idea because I think students will live on campus instead of off the campus because they're able to drink in the dorms when they come of age.
I think it's pretty fair for the people who pay extra to live in those nice places.
Twins Ina and Lily have been declared the oldest twins in the world. They just celebrated their 102nd birthday. Ina Pug and Lily Millward were born in 1910. They've always shared the big day together with each other, and they were determined to spend it together again. Yesterday, Lily was laid up in the hospital with a broken hip. Nevertheless, she had one special visitor when her twin Ina came to wish her a happy birthday.
A new issue of the Volant hit newsstands today. Pick up your issue to read about Governor Bill Janklow's bequest to USD, and a new degree comes to campus beginning next fall. Those stories and more can be found on volantonline.com. You can also check out Coyote News link on the page.
And that's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Also, after next week's news, Channel 21's presenting an encore of the Red Report. In the meantime, have a great night and a good weekend. We'll see you next time.